Stop. One breath. Before you take the next step, answer this. Do you still believe being good protects you? Do you think being agreeable earns you loyalty? That being humble, transparent, and endlessly patient convinces the world to treat you fairly? If yes to any of those, here's the dangerous truth you've been trained not to see. The mask of virtue is killing your power. You are performing the right image while forfeiting the right outcomes. And the rooms you enter calibrate to the act, not to you. 500 years ago, Machiavelli whispered what rulers already knew. It is useful to appear good and fatal to be unable to act when necessity demands otherwise. He wasn't telling you to become a monster. The bold orchestrate. The hesitant accommodate. This is not motivation. This is control. Today, I'm handing you the first part of a system that strips off the mask without stripping you of your soul. 7 rules to replace performative goodness with strategic virtue. Quiet, ethical, untouchable. Say it once, then live it. Let's cut straight. Most men lose not because they lack skill, but because they wear virtue like a costume, and then wonder why wolves keep smiling. You apologize before you speak. You explain when you should decide. You forgive without terms. You give without gates. And every time, the room learns the same lesson. You value looking good more than getting what you came for. That's what the mask does. It buys you praise while selling your power. Rule 1. Replace virtue signaling with virtue standards. Signaling is loud. Public humility, public empathy, public apologies no one asked for. Standards are quiet. Boundaries that never move. Example. Someone takes credit for your work in a meeting. Old you jumps in with a polite laugh and a careful clarification so no one feels bad. Mask. You don't debate your worth, you post the price. Your role, your lane, your next call. Predators scan for softness. Standards end the scan. Rule 2. Practice the silence clause. Transparency sounds holy. In practice, it's a trap. You're not obligated to disclose your fears, your leverage, your calendar, your future moves, your emotional state. The more you reveal, the cheaper you become. Replace confessional habits with structured disclosure. Reveal what advances the outcome, withhold what only feeds other people's curiosity. Then stop talking. Silence is not rudeness. Silence is control. The fox stays quiet long enough to see the trap. The lion waits long enough to make the room wait with him. Rule 3. Mercy must have memory. Unconditional forgiveness is not kindness. It is training. You forgive with terms. Missed deadline? Public jab at your expense. We continue and banter is out. Betrayal? Mercy is a gift inside a new system, not a reset to the old one. This is where good men collapse. They confuse softness with grace. You need both. Without memory, mercy becomes marketing for predators. Rule 4. Scarcity is moral. You were told that being always available proves you care. It proves you're easy. Life pays more for what it can't get on demand. You think this is cruel until you realize scarcity protects your best self. When your time is scarce, you arrive prepared. When your words are scarce, they carry consequence. When your presence is scarce, people treat it like a privilege instead of a public resource. Apply it today. Move impromptu access to office hours. Move replies from minutes to windows. This isn't a game. It's stewardship. You're protecting the version of you that actually adds value by refusing to subsidize the version people consume for free. Rule 5. Speak like a verdict, not a request. You think you're being respectful. You're broadcasting doubt. Replace hedges with decisions. Script. We'll do A. In relationships, I don't do last minute. With family, I can't do that. The tone is low, slow, final. You are not angry. You are in charge of you. Machiavelli didn't tell princes to shout. He told them to decide and then make the room catch up. Rule 6. Prioritize reputation over justification. The mask makes you explain your heart to people who trade in optics. Stop. Build the only currency that outlives smear: consistency. Keep receipts. Send summary emails. Capture decisions. Don't argue character in the street. Repeat this line until it lives in your bones. Reputation is behavior repeated, not speeches delivered under attack. You make your name valuable by behaving like your name is already valuable. When others get loud, you get boring. Facts, timelines, next steps. Wolves hate paper trails. This is the line polite men refuse to cross and why they keep losing. You will not lie for sport, betray for fun, or hurt for pleasure. But you must be capable of not being nice when necessity demands it. Withdraw access. End a deal. Walk away from a room that feeds on your image. You are the fox who sees traps, the lion who frightens wolves. That tiny shift from absolute niceness to principled necessity is the difference between being praised and being protected. Let me hand you 3 live scenes and the exact swaps that remove the mask. Scene 1. The meeting cut. They interrupt. Mask. New you stops. Looks, waits 5 beats. Then you finish. If it happens again, hold commentary until I close. The room learns you own your sentence. No heat, just law. Scene 2. The midnight text. Old you, witty reply to seem unbothered. Mask, new you, no reply. Next afternoon, I don't do last minute. No history lesson, just price. If they accuse you of being cold, they just told you why scarcity was required. Scene 3. The guilt ask. Old you over-explains your budget and gets called selfish anyway. Mask, new you, I can't do that. If they escalate, you downgrade access. Shorter calls, scheduled only, every other week. You are not punishing. You are stopping the economy where guilt buys your energy. Now the ethical frame you need so your spine doesn't turn into stone. Strategic virtue is not cruelty. It is alignment. You keep your promises to those who keep theirs. You protect those who trust you. You speak truth when it matters. You do not indulge the performance of goodness when it destroys outcomes. Good. The only people who suffer when your mask comes off are the ones who fed on it. You will feel withdrawal symptoms. The first time you let silence stand, your chest will race. The first time you say, I can't, your mind will write paragraphs to soften it. The first time you withdraw access, loneliness will try to negotiate. Understand, discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's a sign the mask is cracking. Keep going. The world won't fall apart. It will reorder around the you that decides. Here is your micro mission for the next 24 hours. Pick one place you perform virtue: over-apologizing, over-explaining, over-giving, over-sharing. Write a 12-word swap that turns the mask into a move. We'll do A. Then wait for the moment and deliver it once. No extra words, no nervous laughter. Then let the room recalibrate. Understand what you're building. People will still call you kind because you are. They'll still call you generous because you will be. But it will be on schedule, with gates, at your price. You'll still be honest, but with strategy. Not all truth at once. Not all doors open. Not all access free. The mask is loud and hungry. Virtue with power is quiet and fed. If this part pulled the mask off your face, like the video, for more psychology, strategy, and Machiavellian mechanics, subscribe and hit the bell. In the next part, we go deeper. The 3 virtue traps that keep you obedient, how to build a reputation that absorbs smears without speeches, and the gate protocol that lets people back in without losing frame. It won't make you comfortable, it will make you consequential. Freeze 1 second. If part 1 rattled you, that's good. But here's the twist most men miss. When you start removing the mask, the world doesn't clap. It tempts you to put it back on. Compliments appear, guilt shows up in a tuxedo. That's not respect, that's a leash. Machiavelli warned that appearances rule the crowd. The few feel reality. This part is for the few. I'm going to expose the 3 virtue traps that keep you obedient. Then we'll build a reputation that absorbs smears without speeches, and finish with a gate protocol so you can let people back in without losing the throne you just took inside yourself. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about refusing to be harvested. Drop this in the comments to lock your identity. Outcomes over optics, always. Trap 1, the approval fix. It tells you to trade outcomes for perception. Apologize to avoid discomfort, over-explain to appear honest, agree publicly to avoid being called difficult. The hit is instant. Praise, relief, belonging. The cost is delayed. Lost leverage, repeat disrespect, quiet resentment that eats your spine from the inside. You preface decisions with guilt. I hate to say this, but you feel terrified of being called selfish. Reality check. People who need you to be endlessly nice don't love you. They love the version of you that is easy to manage. Swap the fix for a frame. Scripts. This is my decision. I can't do that. Low, slow, final. Approval will pout. Respect will arrive. Late, but permanent. Trap 2. The transparency confession. You were told honesty means unlocking your entire diary on demand. That isn't integrity, that's entertainment for the room. Machiavelli's princes didn't disclose the castle map to feel pure. They told the truth when truth served the realm. You need structured disclosure. Relevant truth, on purpose, in dosage. Replace the confessional reflex with the silence clause. Then stop. Your calm tone is the gate. Remember, the fox sees traps by staying quiet long enough to notice the grass is curved. The lion waits, so the room waits. You are both. Trap 3. The fairness fantasy. The mask insists the world should be equal and tidy. It begs you to explain, negotiate, and petition until fair appears. Meanwhile, those with leverage act. Machiavelli didn't say abandon justice, he said understand necessity. Outcomes are purchased with price, not pity. If you cannot raise the price of access to you, time, energy, presence, then you cannot raise the level of treatment you receive. Swap petitions for pricing. Work. Scope stays, rate stays. Romance. I don't do last minute. Family. I'm not able to do that. Fairness is not a feeling. Fairness is a schedule, a scope, a boundary that doesn't move when someone cries. Now build the reputation stack, so you stop arguing your goodness and start collecting receipts that speak for you. Reputation is behavior repeated, not speeches delivered under attack. Stack it in 5 layers. Layer 1, tone cadence. Low, slow, final. Your voice sounds like a verdict, not a request. You don't rush. Predators sprint. Rulers stroll. Every sentence lands like a period, not a question mark in disguise. Layer 2, receipts. Attach the doc. Boring kills rumors. Loudmouths hate timelines because timelines hold knives they can't see until they're cut. Layer 3, consistency windows. You respond in windows you set, not in panic. The world starts arranging around your clock. People can't smear you as unreliable when your schedule is predictable and public. Layer 4, consequence memory. When a boundary is crossed, you withdraw a perk where the violation lives. Access, time, money, prime slots. Not a lecture, a price tag. Layer 5, Strategic silence. When pulled into street fights, you don't defend your heart. You present the stack. Tone, receipts, windows, consequence, silence. Your name becomes a slow-moving building, solid, unamused, still standing when weather changes. Machiavelli said, "Men judge by the eye. Make what they see unflappable." Now the gate protocol, because sometimes people wake up and want back in. Letting them back because you miss them is how the mask crawls onto your face again. The gate protocol replaces nostalgia with metrics. There are 3 gates: time, behavior, and cost. Time gate. No instant re-entry. In those 30 days, you're not performing progress with endless check-ins, you're living your life. If they rage at time, they're not ready for behavior. Behavior gate. Specific, boring, measurable. Words are cheap. Patterns are currency. Cost gate. Returning is never free. In business, deposit, retainer, milestone penalties. In romance, effort you can see, not poetry you can feel. Confirmations, plans, courtesy. In family, the favor happens after the task they've dodged is completed. This is not punishment, it's economics. You're correcting the market that once paid disrespect with more of you. Delivery matters. Then list gates in 1 paragraph, no edge. If they bargain the gates down, the answer is already no. They want your mask back, not you. If they accept and perform, you don't gush. You quietly restore access in increments smaller than the proof you received. That's how relapse dies. Let's ground this in 3 scenes. Work scene. They undermined you in front of leadership. Old you would spill your heart and beg the room to like you. New you presents the gate protocol. You say it once and leave the call looking like a man who owns his calendar. No heat, just climate. Old you writes a novel. New you, glad you reached out. Time gate is built in. If they keep flirting without scheduling, the gate closes silently. If they schedule, behavior gate opens. Confirmations, clarity, no last-minute flips. If they pass, you increase access slowly. If they test your gate, you don't scold. You move back to distance. The signal is logistics that respect you. Old you lectures, then caves. New you, after the last loan is cleared, I'll consider the next. Time gate, after. Behavior, cleared. Cost, smaller help, not money. They can call you selfish. That's the mask begging to return. You're not cruel, you're sane. Now a brief word on smear and sabotage, because when you stop playing the mask of goodness, someone will try to portray you as the villain. You don't refute character with adjectives, you show nouns and verbs. Attach. If a mutual asks you to tell your side, you don't give the drama oxygen. Repeat it until boredom strangles the rumor. Your friends will see your stack, your enemies will see their reflection. You will feel the pull of the mask most when you are lonely. When you set gates and people fail them, silence gets loud. You will be tempted to buy your way out of solitude with a discount on your standards. That's how you become cheap again. Understand this, loneliness is a detox symptom, not a destiny. It passes, your peace remains. Better a short season of quiet than a lifetime of being devoured politely. Your 24-hour mission. Choose 1 trap and 1 gate. If approval is your drug, deliver 1 decision without a hedge. We'll do A. If fairness fantasies keep you begging, post a price. Scope stays, rate stays. Then design a gate protocol for the person most likely to try re-entry. Write it down. Time, date, behavior, 2 boring proofs, cost, deposit, effort. Keep it in your notes. If the knock comes, you won't improvise, you'll execute. Freeze for 1 clean breath. The people who fed on your mask are about to make 1 last move. They won't argue strategy, they'll argue morality. That's not guidance. That's moral blackmail, a velvet rope tugging you back to performance. Machiavelli warned that men judge by appearances. When you stop performing the safe role, the crowd doesn't rethink its morality. It tries to glue the mask back on your face. If you fold here, everything you built dies. If you hold, you become something rooms calibrate to without a speech. From this point forward, you will use silence to set culture, you will meet moral blackmail with stainless replies, and you will price your presence so precisely that the mask dies on contact. This isn't cruelty, this is maintenance of your time, your reputation, and your peace. If you're ready, lock it in. Drop this in the comments. Mask off. First, the silence protocol. The mask made you a broadcaster, over-explaining, over-comforting, turning every line into a sermon about your good heart. Silence flips the physics. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is weight. It makes other people carry their behavior long enough to feel it. In practice, it's 5 moves you can deliver in any room without raising your voice. Move 1. The pause. When interrupted, insulted, or rushed, you don't speed up. You stop. 5 slow heartbeats. The room feels the crime. Then you finish your sentence. Old you taught people your attention was cheap. This pause announces your attention is invoiced. Move 2. The period. Transform every rising apologetic tale into a low final stop. Will do A. I don't do last minute. I can't do that. You're not angry, you're decided. Move 3. The redirect. When pulled into gossip or character trials, you don't defend your soul. Then you proceed. Predators thrive on back alleys. You only meet in daylight. Move 4. The window. You reply in windows you set, not in panic. The world will learn your clock because you repeat it, not because you apologize for it. Move 5. The adjourn. When chaos spikes, shouting, accusations, theatrics, you don't compete for air. This isn't productive. You end the call or stand up. Then you send one boring summary. Decisions made, next step, time. Courts don't argue in parking lots, they reconvene. Now the moral blackmail countermeasures. These are stainless sentences that cut the leash without spilling your guts. Use them exactly, no garnish. If you cared, you'd, I care. You'll notice something, none attack character, none open debate. They return the focus to outcomes, standards, and pattern. That's the point. Moral blackmail thrives when you argue feelings. It dies when you restate terms. Next, make your presence expensive. The mask sold unlimited access to a premium product. You. Price correct it with 3 levers: scarcity, sequence, and stakes. Scarcity. Fewer appearances, higher quality. You don't attend every meeting you're invited to. You don't answer every ping. You are where you're decisive, not where you're decorative. Scarcity isn't arrogance. It's how you protect the version of you that actually moves needles. Sequence. Who gets you first, how, and for how long. People who invest up front get depth. People who test your standards get surface. In practice, new or flaky contacts book short slots. Reliable allies get long blocks. Work moves from email, scheduled call, standing cadence, not chaos, rescue, burnout. Your sequence teaches people how to climb if they want more you. Stakes. Visible consequences for sloppy behavior. Visible rewards for precision. Miss a deadline? The next review is shorter, not longer. Hit 3 sprints clean, you expand scope or budget. In relationships, confirm plans on time, you open better windows. Cancel late, the window shrinks for a month. Dogs learn by treats and fences. Humans aren't so different. Set both. You'll also need the virtue firewall for those who wrap guilt in scripture and policies. Remember Machiavelli's warning: rulers preach virtue and break it when necessary. You will invert that. You will keep your short hard code, and you will refuse to perform it to satisfy spectators. The firewall is a 5-line code you memorize. I keep my word where it matters. I protect those who trust me. I don't subsidize disrespect. I tell relevant truth. I won't be shamed into waste. If a room tries to baptize you in their morality, you don't spit on the altar. You recite your code and proceed. Your code is the court you answer to, not the crowd. Now install culture by silence. Culture is not what you say, it's what you permit. 3 drills set it in any room. Drill A, the opening quiet. In your meetings, start on time and take 10 seconds of quiet to read the agenda before anyone speaks. That 10 seconds will feel like a year to chaotic people. Good. You're exporting your nervous system. Drill B, the 2-beat rule. After someone finishes a point, wait 2 beats before responding. It eliminates crosstalk, exposes interrupters, and teaches depth over speed. People with weak ideas rush. People with strong ideas land. Drill C, the 1-sentence loop. It seems trivial. It's not. That sentence is a fence. Gossip dies against fences. What about smears? The strong don't sprint. You deploy the reputation shield you started building in Part 2. Receipts, cadence, windows, consequence memory. If you ever must speak, you show nouns and verbs, not adjectives. You let the loud person exhaust themselves against a wall that doesn't echo. There's one more predator you must disarm: loneliness. When you stop being everybody's free emotional labor, the calendar quiets. It's not. It's proof you've cleared a field. Don't replant weeds because you can't stand brown dirt. Use the quiet for compound interest, health, skill, capital, deep alliances. The right people love you more when you stop being everywhere. The wrong people only loved the discount. Old you laughs to look easy. New you, pause. Eye contact. Return to the agenda. If it repeats, adjourn. Later, 1 sentence in writing. We'll keep it professional in meetings. Silence after. The room just learned your culture. Scene, the urgent ping at 10:57 p.m. New you, no reply. Next day at 2, I review at 2. If they accuse you of not caring, you don't send your heart, you send your window. Scene, the comeback request. Someone who trampled boundaries now says, let's start fresh. Old you melts. New you opens the gate protocol you wrote in Part 2. Time, 30 days. Behavior, 2 clean deliveries. Cost, deposit, effort. If they perform, you restore access slower than the proof they delivered. If they negotiate the gate closes quietly. Nostalgia is not a plan. A final word on ethics because men like you care. Power without virtue rots the holder. Virtue without power bleeds the holder. You will keep your core clean and your edges sharp. You will be generous where it multiplies good and gated where it multiplies waste. You will not confuse theatrical kindness with love. Love without protection is an invitation to predators. Your 24-hour mission: run the silence protocol once, deploy 1 stainless reply against moral blackmail, and make 1 presence pricing adjustment to your week. Remove a non-decisive meeting, set a reply window, or move a social maybe to a clean no. Then, and this matters, do not explain your new behavior. Let people experience it. Experience is the only sermon adults hear. You have reached the line where men split into 2 kinds: those who keep the mask and die praised, and those who kill the mask and live respected. Which one are you going to be? If this series ripped the mask off and gave you a spine you can feel, like the video. For more psychology, strategy, and Machiavellian mechanics, subscribe and hit the bell. Comment the pledge that ends the old era. Mask off. Share this with 1 person who performs goodness to survive and is ready to live. This isn't self-help. This is control. Stay strategic, stay ethical, stay powerful.